All right, let's talk about strategic web design. Over the next few minutes, we're going to break down exactly how to take a website from being just another online page and turn it into a powerhouse, a real engine for business growth. Let's dive in.
So here's what we've got on tap. We're going to kick things off with the big picture opportunity. Then we'll get into the absolute must-haves, the user-first foundation. From there, we'll talk about how to win over local customers, design for trust, and then, finally, how to put it all together to create a serious revenue engine.
Okay, so let's start with the big challenge, right? In today's world, a website isn't just a nice-to-have. It's a critical business tool that has to pull its weight. It absolutely needs to perform.
And this really is the question you have to ask yourself. Is your site just a line item on a budget, an expense, or is it an investment that's actively bringing you a return? The goal here is to make damn sure it's the second one.
You know, you can think of your website as your digital handshake. For a lot of people, it's the very first time they'll ever interact with your brand. A really clean, professional site builds trust in a split second. But a clunky or broken one? That can kill a potential deal before it even starts.
So that brings us to our first real strategy, how to build a solid foundation. And you know what? It all boils down to two things that are completely non-negotiable today. You have to prioritize mobile users, and your site has to be blazing fast.
The way we approach design has done a complete 180. For years, everybody built websites for big desktop screens and then just kind of tried to squish them down to fit on a phone. The new way, the smart way, is to design for the smartphone first and then expand that experience up for bigger screens.
And this is exactly why that shift is so crucial. Just think about it for a second. If a pipe bursts in your kitchen, you're not booting up your desktop computer, right? No way. You're grabbing your phone and frantically searching for a plumber near me. If that plumber's website is a nightmare to use on your phone, you are gone. On to the next one, instantly.
And the other pillar of that foundation is speed. It's brutally simple. Slow websites bleed visitors. A high bounce rate just means people show up and leave right away. But a fast website, it keeps them around. It keeps them engaged long enough for you to actually show them what you've got.
Okay, so once you have that fast, mobile-ready foundation locked in, what's next? Well, you've got to make sure the right people can actually find you. And for most businesses, that means winning the local customer.
This is where local SEO comes into play. And look, it's not some kind of mysterious black magic. It's really just about setting up your website so that search engines like Google understand what you do and, this is the important part, where you do it.
And getting this done is actually pretty straightforward. It comes down to 3 basic steps. First, you create specific pages for each city or town you serve. That tells Google you're a player there. Second, you use those locations in your headings and your content. And third, you make your phone number and address impossible to miss. That's it. Together, those things shout legit local business to the search engines.
Now, beyond all the technical stuff, there's the actual look and feel of the site. And modern design, it's not about crazy animations or flashy graphics anymore. It's about simplicity. A clean, simple layout is what builds trust and actually guides people to take action.
This quote just nails it. Every single person who lands on your website has a goal. A simple design gets all the clutter out of the way so they can achieve that goal faster. You have to remember, confusion is the #1 killer of conversions.
So what does a layout that builds trust actually look like? Well, it's got 4 key ingredients. First, the messaging is crystal clear. The user instantly gets what you do. That builds confidence. Second, navigation is super intuitive. They aren't hunting for things, which shows you respect their time. Third, you've got obvious calls to action. It's totally clear what they should do next. And finally, a professional, uncluttered look. It just signals that you're credible and you care. All right, let's pull all these threads together. For any business, or for any agency that serves them, these aren't just little design tips. These are the gears of a reliable revenue engine.
At the end of the day, it's this simple. When you focus on these practical, proven ideas, mobile first, speed, local SEO, and simplicity, you end up with a website that solves real business problems. And a website that solves problems is a website that makes money, consistently.
So let's just quickly boil it all down. Mobile isn't a feature, it's essential. Speed keeps people on your site. Local SEO gets you the right kind of customers, and a simple design builds trust and gets people to act. And for all you agencies out there offering these services, well, that's how you scale your own business.
So I'll leave you with one last question to think about. The internet moves unbelievably fast. A strategy that worked just a couple of years ago might be totally outdated now. So, take a good hard look at your own site and ask yourself, is it built for yesterday's internet or is it ready to compete and win today?